Hello, everybody. How's everybody's doing? Hopefully, everyone is alive and kicking. I am alive and kicking myself. Right now, it's midnight. Everyone's sleeping in my home, so this is my chance to do some recordings myself and get this podcast out. Today's question I saw in Quora was what's the biggest secret for the rich? Power off, yes. That's definitely power off. I don't consider myself rich yet, but I technically consider myself wealthy enough to actually pay off my current bills, take care of my kids, send them to a private school. I have enough money to save up to enjoy my life a little bit with my wife. I am blessed. With a lot of things. But I just wanted to give my own, 50 cent in it, or my 2 cent. I said 50 cent. I don't know if anyone picked up that one. But this is what I've been into self-development for so long. I've been reading books, leadership books, sales books, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, The Art of War. Read a lot of books. I'm not great at memorizing books. I'm not great at remembering passages of the book. I'm not great at studying particular books, but I do get my dose of things that I'm looking for at the moment that I'm reading the book. Let me give you an example. Who Took My Cheese or something like that. I don't remember the name of the book, but Who Took My Cheese? That book until today I took something from it, and one of the things that I took away from it is that I need to, once I have everything in place, once I have my business plan in place, once I have my processes and progress and my plans for the future, I would stop thinking about things. I'm not saying totally stop creating choices and making decisions in the business. This comes with the business, but as Gary Vee always said, put your head on the dirt and don't lift it up for the next 10 years. And that's what I do. I took away from that particular book, that particular idea, and that particular skill. I consider it as a skill because, god damn it, it's so hard to keep your head down and just grinding. It's really hard. It's not that simple. Someone can tell you could do it, but it's not really that simple. It takes on mentally, physically from you, and depends on how committed you are, how focused you are, how attentive you are, and most important thing is the intention. How strong your intention is. I remember one of the one guy that I've met in a course. I don't remember his name. I think Anil. I don't remember his name, but one of the things he said to me, and it stuck to me since that day, it's like intentions is everything. Whether your intent to do this or that, whether you intend to make money here or there, you intend to start a business here and there, intentions is everything. Once intention comes in place, my next step would be as a as a thing for someone who have, you know, considered rich in a way, is that you find the idea. What is the idea? What is the skill that you are coming with? What's the idea that you're coming with? What you're solving a problem? What is the service you're going to be providing, right? As long as you have the intent, and then from there you take that intent to create an idea or a skill or a business or a service out of that particular intent, you have the skill now. You have the the service that you have an idea about what you want to do and you want to start. My next step, after you have the intent, you have the skill, the third thing is to find, in my opinion, is to find a partner, someone you could share the journey with. Out of my own experience, I do not recommend that your partner, your spouse, your wife, to be your person who would be your partner, but actual partner. Now, I'm not saying that, partnering up with your spouse won't work, but I do believe mixing relationships with business kind of harms the relationship in general. In my opinion, I would love to have a business with my wife someday. But if it ever happened, chances are I may take a step back and leave the majority of the decision making for my wife. Because when me and her go into a business, that's technically not my business, that's her business. I'll give her my inputs, I'll give her my notes, I'll give her what direction her business should go. I'll give her advice. I'll help her with any way it needs to be done. I'll even walk through fire with her. Now, some people will tell you, just coming back a little bit for the intent. Sorry, you know what? Before I go back, let me continue on this particular note. So, your intent, your skill, your business partner, and then from your business partner, I would suggest that you find a job, whatever job it is. Grind on that job as much as you can to at least have the working capital that you could work with, you and your partner could work with, to start whatever you guys are interested in, whatever you guys want, right? Whatever the skill that you guys both have, right? So I would recommend that. I would recommend to stick it into a job, stay in a job. The earlier you stay in a job, I think the better, right? It's just so you could have at least a working capital to start with, right? Not to limit yourself to whatever it's you have at hand from savings. I don't believe in, and by the way, this is something I'm really very passionate about. I don't believe people spending their credit cards to attend a course. I have been born in, or not born, but I've been around that generation where, rich dad courses and join in the multi-unit grant courses and stuff like that. I am not into that. I don't like spending 5,000 grand or 15,000 grand to be part of a group, an elite, whatever, quote unquote. Doesn't make sense to me. And I'm quoting from Google, from Gary Vee. The best answers you'll ever find and the best education you'll ever find is in one website. Let me help you out. Google. Google. It's literally the best. And even if you spend money on something, if I ever spend money in something, I would probably spend it on testing things, testing the knowledge that I have acquired, trying it out, right? I wouldn't be spending it on someone teaching me. My journey is definitely different than that person. My journey in real estate is definitely different than the person who mentored me, or whoever I've, I've shared this before, and I'm pretty sure I did share it before. But I used to do real estate investing. I used to wanted to learn more about real estate. I ended up learning about tax sales, and I've learned it from an individual, a pretty great individual, um, in which I asked him, "I'll work for free for you. I just need to learn." And he taught me a lot of things. Like I've learned a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things, in particularly networking and marketing and stuff like that. I've PR in general as well. I've learned a lot of things from him. And one of the things that I've learned was digital marketing, and also real estate transactions. I understood how real estate transactions work. I understand renovations at home, how renovations are done at home, how the houses are built. This is how I renovated this house, right? I've renovated majority of this house. Um, but again, this is also a skill, right? Um, on a different note, um, some people will tell you, if you really want to be like you really want to know the secret, um, for being rich, what's the secret of riches, is basically when you put yourself in, it's you force yourself, or you put yourself in situations that you will lose something valuable to you. Because when you are losing something valuable to you, you may actually take this next step, if you're afraid of like taking the next step, which is it's a methodology that I used to use for a while, but I stopped because eventually I would have lost a lot. um, let me if I wasn't clear, let me give you an example. I don't remember what's the name of the book that I've read it on, but I've read this on a book. I have it on my Audibles, but I don't remember the name of the book. If anyone's remember it, please do share the name. But it will tell you a story, and I wrote about it also on my LinkedIn page as well, if I do recall. Okay, because it was a great idea, like a great metaphor for the whole thing. Imagine this. Imagine if you're on top of a building. You're on top of a high building, right? And sorry, imagine there are two high top buildings. Sorry, I apologize. Let me just rephrase that. Imagine there are two high buildings. They are very, very high in the skyscrapers. Two of them. You are located in one side of the building. One of these buildings, you are located on one of them. And when you're looking at the second building, you see a connection, a H-beam or I-beam, whatever you want to call it, an I-beam, metal I-beam, running from one side of that building to the next side of the building. On the other side of the building, there is a guy. On the other side, on the second building, there's a guy telling you, if you cross this beam, I'll give you $100. Majority of people will say, no, I won't cross it, right? I'll die. Like if I fall, I'll die. If I give you 1,000, would you cross that beam? Some people say, yeah, why not? Yeah, okay. A lot of them will say no, though. If I give you 1,000,000, would you cross that beam? Some people will say, yeah, I can cross that beam for $1 million. Maybe, no? Okay. Now imagine this, and by the way, majority of people will say also no. The fear of height. Imagine this. You're on one side of the two buildings. This man is on the other side of the two buildings, and there's a beam in the middle. You have air blowing through that H-beam that's connecting between the two buildings. Winds are blowing pretty strong, and all of a sudden he brings your son or your daughter out, or whoever the most beloved person in your life, most important person in your life, and he puts a gun in his head, and he'll tell you, would you cross now? Majority of the people will answer yes, I'll cross. I will cross. And this is what that particular metaphor is talking about. It's talking about that particular idea of you are losing something important to you in the pursuit of achieving whatever you need to achieve, right? It's a very, in my perspective, it's a very, well, first of all, it's in theory, it's probably it's a great thing, but it have a lot of downside that could hurt someone. If someone starts thinking about it that way, it could hurt someone. Not to mention, if anyone start to act that way, in my opinion, people will start irrationally lie to achieve what they need to achieve. I don't recommend anybody doing it. I don't recommend anybody try to lose things in their life just to achieve what they need to achieve. Because eventually you'll end up being in a vehicle on the middle of the road, which is a place I don't think anybody wants to be at. And by the way, I'm talking about experience. You would lose a lot. So I don't recommend anybody doing it. It is a great way of pushing yourself to do things that you need to do, but I don't think you should take it literally and extremely. You could do it moderately. It's the same example of the guy, I don't remember if it's a movie or not, one guy was approached by a young man and asking him to mentor. And he asked him if he could meet him at the beach in the morning, 4 a.m. The young guy agreed, and he met him on the beach in the morning. And he took him into the water and sank the guy under the water, sank the young boy under the water. And when the boy came out, he's like, I couldn't breathe. And why are you doing that? He's like, again, I'm not saying the right thing, I'm not saying the right story properly, but I think you know the point. But the whole point, the whole purpose, or the whole point of the story is if you really want to be successful, you would really need to live for the things that you're looking to be successful at. It's almost like you need air. You can't live without air. So why would you live without your goals in general? This is what I came off of it. Some people may come off of it with something else, but that's the whole point. But this is considered also one of the secrets of, I guess, what I do as well. It's one of the things that I have. I actually have a lot of goals, particularly with my partner. Apologies. With my partner, I have a lot of goals with my partners. I have goals that are monthly goals. I have I have monthly goals. I have a year goal. I have 5-year goal, and I have 10-year goal. Now, and by the way, like, if someone tells you you could build those stuff in like one day, he's lying. No. A 10-year goal doesn't take one day for you to do it. No. It takes, at least in my case, in my partner case, it took us 5 days to at least build an idea where we want to go. Particularly with Sudan Express. And then once we had these goals came out, guess what? Our 5-year goal came out automatically. Our 1-year goal came out automatically. Now, imagine this. You're going about your life, you're following the plan that you put in place, and then an opportunity comes in, and you hop into that opportunity. Guess what? Your 10-year goal now changed. So you'll have to sit down again and talk about it, and not necessarily change things, but you'll be adding things, or maybe remove things, or maybe, I guess, a little bit of changing, but not a major changing. Right? And the opportunity comes in, and you both take it, right? So when you both take it, you are basically going into the endeavor of that you want to go about to increase your wealth, right? Now, within the next, right now, I am creating on a roughly a particular good passive income, and I guess within a year or so, I will say a year. Within a year, I'm predicting my income basically increases 75%. I would have either 75% or 125% increase on my income on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis, I would have a small increase. Either 75 to a 125% increase. And this is thanks to my partners, our plan, opportunities coming in, right? There is also an idea, and I really don't think anybody should do it the same I do it. I used to have a bad habit, and I personally don't consider it as a bad habit, but the society think of it as a bad habit. Because that particular bad habit brought me into whatever I am right now. I have a bad habit of basically saying yes to everything. Now, let me give you my thoughts when I talk to people about, when I say yes to people. An opportunity comes to me. I have multiple opportunities comes to me, and I always say yes to them, all of them. Like some people would say, you're throwing too many muds on the wall, hoping one of them will stick. That's true. It may look like that, it may sound like that, but I always relate my yeses to a time frame. Meaning, like, if someone comes to me with let's say a project or an idea or whatever it is, I would say yes. I will definitely, I would love to participate in it. At the moment, I can't. Can you come at me within the next 5 years? I'll never tell people no for things that they want, but I'll set you up with a time frame, because I don't believe that whatever project or whatever opportunity gonna come at me is gonna live for that 5 years. Some people will say, "Oh, but this is just you saying no." No, it's not really saying no. Like, I can tell you for a fact, there are, if I think the project is, well, it does sound, now that I think about it, it does sound like I'm setting them off, but I haven't really said to anybody 5 years for a while. I actually been saying like a 1 year. Come at me for after 1 year or 6 months, because just because of my finances, right? I'm not ready for a venture like this, right? Like the mechanic shop. I don't really need to be ready for it, because there is not a lot of investment capital need to be in place, because all I need to do is just find a place. I already have the suppliers that are willing to give me the products without actually buying it. I have the what do you call it, the workers that are willing to move from one place to another. So that particular business venture, is not really taking a lot out of my own pocket, right? Um, the software developments and stuff like that, I am spending money from my own pocket on it, but I want to take it in, because as soon as the idea came in, and the development of this idea came in, I immediately said yes, because I want to be able to, this is to accommodate whatever the mechanic shop we're going to be opening, right? So it's kind of an idea came in the right time, the right place. I have my brother-in-law have an idea. He came to me with an idea, and I said yes. I started it, but I hold it off because I want to focus on other things, right? I didn't say no. I'm not gonna say no to him. He still wants to do it, but we didn't get the chance to sit down and do it anymore, right? Again, you will always find. I don't want to brush it off. Like, to me, I still say yes to a lot of things. You guys let me know, what do you think about it when someone tells you, come back to me after 6 months. It's like, is that like a way of saying politely no? Yeah, I don't know, but to me, I really don't think about it that way, because I'm actually uh, interested to say yes in a lot of things, and I want it. I don't judge ideas based on how good they are, how bad they are. Majority of ideas or the opportunities that come at me doesn't really require a lot of investment, or a lot of capital to start, right? If the idea is too big, I would say yes, but I will ask the person, like, how can I help you out with it? Like, what do you need from me? I have no problem. I want to join it. Just, how can I get you? How can I get in? What do you need from me? Right? If it's capital, it'll be this. You okay with that? Cool. If you're okay with that, then I have this skill, I have that skill. What can I do to help out? To get things done in house if need to be, or if I need to be present for a particular things, right? Um, that's what I go about and do. So, just to give you guys a quick recap, um, what's the secret for my, I guess, my mentality of or what I think of as a what do you call it, as the secret for the riches, or people who are rich? I think intent is the number one secret that a person should have. From that intent, you basically have to create a business idea, or build a trade or skill, or whatever it is that you need to build, where you need to start something, an idea, right? Or start the business. Now, if you start a business, you don't need to look for a job, but majority of the time when people have a business, they still need a job, right? And then after you actually have the idea, the skill that you learned, this and that, I would recommend you to find a partner who is in the same wavelength that you are, right? Partners, I personally recommend to have a partner as soon as you can. Partners are there not only for the financial support, not only for the operational support or business support. They are there for your mental support as well. If you're going through a mental shit, partners are there to help you out. Like, I help my partner in a lot of things in his life. I lend him a lot of times in terms of money. He had an issue with his dad. I supported him as much as I can, right? So partners, look for a person that you could work with. Majority of the time, or my recommendation in like finding a partner for yourself, is that you find someone in the same ethnicity as you are. Speaks the same language, preferably. Now, this is not the rule of thumb, by the way. No, it's not. I think, or I see, partners that are from the same ethnicity, and partners that speak the same language, or they speak the same accent, or they're from the same area, or they're from the same country, right? Makes them more compatible to work together. Now, I'm gonna contradict what I just said. I'm a Middle Eastern. And I'm one of those guys who hate working with Middle Eastern. I know I'm contradicting myself right there, and I'm from Sudan, and I hate working with Sudanese people, even though my partner is Sudanese. Yeah. You hate it or love it, you will have a better chance of actually communicating and having a better understanding is if both of you come in from the dirt, right? So I would recommend that you find your best buddy to do an investment with him, or like a person that you had a good relationship with, a working good relationship, right? And you recognize his skill, recognize skill. And once you find a partner, I think you should just find a job. Now, I'm just going to add one last item to this whole thing. Treat this whole journey as if when you're going to your successes and riches, treat it as a game with a score, and you need to figure out what are the scores of this game. I always say I know a lot of people won't like this kind of metaphor, but I think like if you ever played GTA, Grand Theft Auto, you would realize like everything is gamified. Like the life of whoever the characters that are in GTA are gamified, and the longer you've been doing the game, the longer that you've been doing the missions, the longer you've been following the missions and you're doing this, you will always notice that you're getting more and more money in which you can buy things that you want, and you get richer every day. So I would recommend you is that you consider this whole thing, and it's just a suggestion. I know a lot of people may not like it, but consider it as a game. You are playing a game. When you're losing weight, you are playing a game. And whatever reps, how many reps that you do for the day, these are your game. And now you're collecting points. Now, when you're collecting a point, you'll be like, okay, I'm going to reward myself because I collected this many points on this game. So you would create a system of, well, in my case, I consider it enjoyment. I'm a gamer by nature. I love games. I don't do them right now because I have too many stuff in my hand. I can't afford to actually play right now. But when I get the opportunity, when I have an opportunity to play a good game, I will play a good game. I have a pretty good rig, so I'm pretty set. But try to gamify the game. Try to identify the score points. Try to identify your goals on things. Try to reward yourself on achievements that you achieved on this game that you've been building. Now, people will tell you, oh, when you're running a business, the rules and the laws are changing. Well, guess what? That's the rules and laws of the game has changed. That's just the game. It's just part of the game. When you're in let's say Shadow of Mordor, for example, when you're playing Shadow of Mordor, guess what? When you kill one of the leaders, someone else will come in and take in place. When you get killed, that person changes, becomes stronger. That orc, actually, it's not a person, sorry. That orc changes and becomes stronger. He knows more details about you, right? So he knows how to counter you, right? It's just a part of the game. You just have to accept it. Changes to your business, changes to your plans and goals will change. It's up to you to basically follow the rule of the game and just adapt and follow, right? So this is another thing I would recommend people to actually do it. This is that you gamify your whole journey. I enjoy games. I enjoy gamifying my own things, my own trips, my own accomplishments that I've been doing here. So I would recommend everybody to do that, to check it out, see what's visible to build as a game, as everything around you is considered a game. Like, even I don't want to say it that way, but even like with my relationships with my daughters, I have good relationships with my daughters, with my whole family as well, but I also try to gamify that, to be like, oh, okay, you know what I did. Oh, well, not necessarily. Sometimes I'll put them as my reward for something I've did, right? But you can gamify everything that you have in your life. I believe that you can gamify everything in your life, and then you can put achievements and scores on everything in your life, and from there you can actually take it to the next achievement, take it to the next achievement, take it to the next achievement. Now, you're not gonna have all the achievement in one time, but I would recommend you to like sit down and figure out your achievement. Figure out what achievement you want to put on your game. How do you score yourself on these games, right? People will say, I'm scoring myself based on how much money I brought in, or based how much winning tactics did I gain in today, or how many leads did I gain in today. That's part of the game. You are doing what needs to be done for you to achieve the goal that you put together, but in the process you are gamifying it. Check it out. Hopefully this helps you guys. Let's talk next time. Have a good day.